Welcome back to Lulling Lore. Tonight, we're stepping through a veil of mist and gaslight, back to London in 1888. A city of 4 million souls, wrapped in coal smoke and shadow. So settle in. Dim the lights around you. Pull your blanket a little closer. Let the rain outside, or the memory of rain, become your companion. We have 67 whispers waiting for you tonight. Small truths. Forgotten details. The texture of a world that once was. Breathe deeply. And let us begin. The city wakes before the sun. In the dark, you hear the coal man's cart, rattling over uneven stones, his voice hoarse from the cold. The lamplighters are still working. They move like ghosts through the fog, extinguishing the gaslights one by one with long brass poles. Inside a narrow townhouse, a maid kneels by the hearth. Her hands are blackened as she rakes yesterday's ashes, preparing the fire for the family upstairs. The smell of coal smoke is everywhere. It clings to curtains, to skin, to the fog itself. Church bells ring across the Thames. Not all at once, but in a staggered chorus, each parish announcing the hour in its own voice. A street sweeper works the crossing at Piccadilly. His broom is worn to stubble. He earns a few pennies by keeping the muck off ladies' hems. In Whitechapel, a factory whistle screams. Women in shawls hurry toward the match factories, their breath visible in the autumn air. The rag and bone man calls out, "Any old iron? Any old iron?" His cart creaks. His horse knows the route by heart. Milk is delivered in churns, ladled into jugs at the doorstep. No bottles yet. No refrigeration. You drink it warm or let it sour. A baker's boy runs through the alley, a basket of yesterday's bread balanced on his head. He'll sell it cheap to the poorhouses. The Thames at dawn smells of salt and sewage. Mudlarks, children, mostly, wade through the shallows, searching for coins, nails, anything to sell. Above it all, the sky is the color of old paper. The sun, when it rises, is a pale coin behind the smoke. A gentleman's morning coat weighs nearly as much as a child. Wool. Velvet collar. Lined in silk. Beneath it, a waistcoat, a shirt with detachable collar, studs made of mother of pearl. His wife wears a corset laced so tightly she cannot bend at the waist. 17 bones of whalebone and steel. Her dress has a bustle, a cage of wire and horsehair strapped to her lower back. It makes sitting an art form. Servants dress in the dark. A housemaid owns 2 dresses, one for scrubbing, one for serving. Both are gray or black. Gloves are everything. A lady does not leave the house without them. Kidskin for evening. Cotton for day. In the East End, women wear shawls instead of coats. Cheaper. Easier to pawn when the rent comes due. A docker's cap is his signature. Flat, wool, stained with sweat and river mist. Bootblacks work on every corner. A shine costs a penny. A good shine, one that makes the leather gleam like glass, costs 2. Children go barefoot, even in November. Their feet are tough as leather, split at the heels. A top hat can cost a week's wages. But a man without one, in certain circles, is invisible. When night falls, the lamplighters return. They carry ladders and tapers, moving street by street, like slow-motion stars being born. Gaslight is not steady. It flickers. It hisses. It casts shadows that seem to breathe. Inside a parlor, a single lamp glows behind etched glass. The room smells faintly of sulfur and warm metal. In the music halls of Soho, gas footlights blaze. Performers sweat under their heat. The audience sits in near darkness, faces half-lit, anonymous. Street corners are pools of amber light. Between them, long stretches of night. A policeman walks his beat with a bullseye lantern. The beam cuts through fog like a knife. He sees only what he points at. In Whitechapel, the lights are fewer. Some streets have none at all. Residents carry their own candles, cupped against the wind. A gas explosion is not uncommon. A leak. A match. A house gone in an instant. The wealthy have chandeliers, mantles of flame hanging from plaster ceilings, dripping with crystals that throw light like rain. The poor have rushlights, reeds dipped in fat, smoky and brief. By midnight, most of London is dark. Only the public houses stay bright, their windows glowing like lanterns on a black sea. Listen. The sound of iron-rimmed wheels on wet cobblestones. It is the heartbeat of the city. A hansom cab rattles past, the driver perched high behind. Inside, a fare sits alone, hidden by a leather curtain. Omnibuses lumber down Oxford Street, pulled by two horses, packed with passengers on the open upper deck. When it rains, they simply get wet. Carriages are status. A brougham is respectable. A landau is elegant. A clarence is for hire. The horses wear blinkers and brass. Their hooves are shod with iron, sparking occasionally against the stones. In the mornings, the streets are slick with manure. Crossings are cleaned by hand, for pennies. A horse falls in Cheapside. It happens often. The driver curses. A crowd gathers. If the leg is broken, a policeman is called. Delivery carts crowd the narrow lanes, coal, ice, flowers, fish. Each has its own rhythm, its own creak and jangle. At night, the costermongers wheel their barrows home. Empty now. The smell of old cabbage trailing behind them. A funeral procession moves slowly up Highgate Hill. Black horses with black plumes. The coffin draped in velvet. Silence, except for the wheels. The underground railway rumbles beneath your feet. You cannot see it, but you feel it, a tremor in the stones, a whisper from below. In the tenements of Spitalfields, supper is bread and dripping. Sometimes an onion. Sometimes nothing. A costermonger sells eels from a barrel. Jellied, still warm. A penny a portion. Street coffee is bitter and thin, sold from tin cans. It tastes of chicory in yesterday's grounds. In Mayfair, dinner is 7 courses. Oysters. Turtle soup. Venison. Ices molded into the shapes of swans. A servant carries a tray up the back stairs. The food is still warm. By the time it reaches the dining room, it is barely so. The kitchen is a factory. 20 pots. 3 fires. A scullery maid who has not sat down since dawn. Gin is cheap. A glass costs less than bread. In the public houses of Shoreditch, men drink standing, women drink hidden. Tea is ritual. For the wealthy, silver pots, porcelain cups, sandwiches with the crusts cut away. For the poor, a single leaf, steeped 3 times, until the water barely darkens. A pieman pushes his cart through Covent Garden. Meat pies, hot and dubious. No one asks what's inside. Children beg with tin cups. Spare a copper, sir. Their voices are practiced, worn smooth. The workhouse serves gruel. Oats and water. It is gray. It is enough to survive, and no more. The walls are thin. You hear everything. A baby crying. A man coughing. An argument, muffled, endless. In a boarding house in Southwark, 12 people share 4 rooms. They sleep in shifts. A letter arrives, sealed with red wax. Inside, news from India, 6 weeks old. A widow keeps her husband's watch on the mantle. It has not run in years. She winds it anyway. In a garret studio, an artist paints by candlelight. His fingers are stained with cobalt and lead. He will die young. A child's shoe, too small now, sits by the door. No one has thrown it away. The wallpaper is faded, stained with damp. Roses, once pink, now the color of old blood. A music box plays in the parlor. A tiny ballerina spins. The tune is lullaby soft, almost sad. Somewhere, a nightingale sings in a square no one remembers the name of. The rain begins again. Gentle. Persistent. The kind that will last till morning. And in 1,000 rented rooms, candles are blown out. One by one. Until the city is dark. Until all that remains is sleep. And so, wanderer, we have reached the end of our 67 whispers. London, 1888. A city of soot and gaslight, of wheels on stone and voices in the fog. It is gone now. And yet, in some way, it lingers. In the echo of a name. In the weight of old cloth. In the memory of rain. Rest now. Let the past settle around you like a blanket. Tomorrow is waiting. But tonight belongs to the dreamers. Sleep well.